Hello, I am Robin Newton and I am joined today by Lanetra King. I'm so excited to chat with Lanetra. You might also notice that I am by myself today. My co host, Danielle Williams, had an emergency and so she will not be joining me. However, we are still going to move forward because Lanetra has some great gems to drop with us today and we did not want to delay this episode. And so, before I jump into asking her the first question, I'm going to give you a little bit about her. So, Lanetra King is an accomplished PR agency owner, seasoned senior publicist, and distinguished director of communications at IndieKater PR. She has been recognized as one of U.S. Reporter Magazine's 30 under 30 alongside notable figures like Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott. With nearly 2 decades of rich history in the public relations field, Lanetra has propelled clients into the spotlight of both local and national media, contributing to transformative campaigns from industry experts to corporate renowned giants like AT&T. Through her masterful strategies, Lanetra has orchestrated brand collaborations, managed red carpet events, overseen award shows, and orchestrated movie premieres for esteemed networks like MTV, TV1, BET. She has secured impressive media features, including The Tamron Hall Show, The Barrymore Show, Yahoo, Good Day LA, The Roland Martin Show, and more. Lanetra, I'm so excited to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to chat with you too.
So, we like to kick things off at the PR Style Guide with our favorite question. When did you first fall in love with PR?
Oh, so I first fell in love with PR at 16. I became a publicist at 16 and didn't even know it. So I was actually working as a cashier at Sears, and I would ring item after item. And when you're at your favorite retail store in person, what's one of the first things that they ask you after they ring all of your items? What's something that they
Mm.
ask you?
Oh man. Normally, oh, can would you like to sign up for our rewards or something like that? Yeah.
Credit card. Yeah, they'll ask you, would you like to sign up for our credit card? So I was effortlessly repositioning their dreaded credit card into an attractive offer. So I was actually number one in our district with credit card enrollments with over 200 per month. And it was at that point where I fell in love with the process of packaging and positioning an item or product or services in a way that is so attractive to the consumer. So that's when I fell in love with PR.
Oh, that's wonderful. So 16. Wow. You
Yes,
got an early start.
16. Yes, and I
So it was just
also
natural
always,
for you.
yeah, and I always had a knack for writing too. Writing is a huge part of PR, and I've always loved writing. So it was just natural for me. And I've always, been someone who loved to communicate in different ways, whether that be writing or talking or music. Communication has always been my thing.
So what was your first PR job? As I like to say, my first big girl job. What was your first big girl PR job or
Oh,
communications job?
that's a great question. So the thing about me is that I was in corporate America since I was 16. So I would always find ways to incorporate PR. So whether that was packaging and repositioning, the dreaded credit card, or whether that was, managing corporate events, I made my own lane within corporate America. And then when I actually created my own PR agency, one of my first clients was actually an author. So one of the first things that I did was help promote one of her events and getting local media coverage for her events.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So what made you want to start your own PR agency?
Well, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. That's just always been instilled in me. And I just always wanted to have my own agency. And I remember like being in corporate America, being in training, looking out the window and daydreaming about having my own agency. So I finally did it in 2015. I still was in corporate America, but I started my business on the side part time. And I always loved music as well. So I'm like, I'm going to combine both of my passions of music and PR. So I started off with doing PR for local music artists. And then I found myself doing a little bit more management than I wanted to. So from there, I transitioned into working with small business owners and entrepreneurs. And the thing about that space is I noticed that a lot of them didn't truly understand what PR was. They had like some idea of what it was, but they didn't fully understand the whole scope and grasp of it. So from there, I was like, okay, I want to go to um, where people really, really, really need my services and understand my services. So from there, I transitioned to working with authors and speakers. And now, with thought leadership being such a huge thing, I've transitioned to working with mainly experts.
That is so cool. So obviously you prefer working with individual clients versus working for a corporate company. But what are some of the challenges about working for yourself in the PR space?
Well, working for yourself in the PR space, one thing I can tell you is that, even going to school for this. So, my undergrad is in journalism and mass communications and with a focus in public relations. And even going to get my master's in marketing, integrated marketing communications, it does not fully prepare you for the field. It really does not. Like you learn a lot of like theories and theoretical things like that, but we didn't really even learn how to write a pitch. We learned how to write press releases, but not an actual pitch. So a lot of these things, and especially being a business owner, you're learning out here in the field. So that's one of the
Absolutely.
challenges there. One of the major challenges is really having to get that experience on the field because school really doesn't prepare you for that. So I would say that's one of the biggest challenges, or was one of the biggest challenges.
And to follow up to that, what's the biggest reward?
Honestly, the biggest reward is to know that, I always tell people so everyone on this earth has a gift and a talent that God has blessed them with. And my role is to shed light to whatever that is so you can make impact on who you need to make impact on and serve those who you're called to serve. So it's really rewarding to bring awareness to experts and initiatives that really impact lives and transform lives, and to really see them be able to reach those who they're called to serve. That's really, really rewarding.
Let's shift gears a little bit. You are rocking some super cute earrings, and I love the pop of color, the
Thank you.
glasses, everything. Let's talk about fashion. What's a fashion staple in your wardrobe that allows you to just show up feeling like a boss in your PR job?
It's definitely some pop of color and some pattern, whether that is my glasses, my lip color, my earrings, or a nice blazer that's a pop of color, maybe like a hot pink or some type of pattern. That is definitely a fashion staple for me for sure.
Do you find that showing up fashionable when you come to these events or to a client meeting helps to foster a relationship or drum up conversation that wouldn't necessarily be there if you show up a little more plain Jane?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always getting compliments on my glasses or my nails or the way I dress. That is a part of your brand image. So people know that when I'm coming to an event, oh, Lanetra's going to be stepping. So absolutely, absolutely.
I love that.
Yes.
So, are there any PR myths that you like to publicly debunk? A lot of people as you mentioned, you realized when you started in this business, everyone doesn't quite know what PR means.
Mhm.
They sometimes mistake it with marketing. If you're in the music business, sometimes it gets or entertainment business, sometimes it gets mistaken as a manager,
Right.
a
Right.
talent manager,
Mhm.
but very different. So tell us about some PR myths or one in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. One PR myth, and I've been talking about it a lot lately, is that you have to be a celebrity or you have to be have a lot of social media followers to get press. And that is absolutely not true. I've worked with experts who, have less than 1,000 followers, on Instagram or Facebook, and have been able to get them on Good Day LA and a lot of different features. So you don't necessarily have to be a celebrity or have a large social media following to get press. It's really about strategy, relationships, and positioning. So that's a huge myth that I've been talking about lately. And then another one, as you just mentioned, that PR and marketing are the same thing. They're not the same thing. One of the main differences is that when it comes to marketing, you're more so doing promotion activities to generate sales. And with PR, it's more so that relationship building pieces and really sharing your story. So, like, you're selling your story with PR, and marketing, you're more so selling your services.
Well, that's a great way to break it down and differentiate the two.
Yes.
Um, I, I enjoy, even as a PR person, I enjoy hearing how people describe it. And to be honest, I'll be using that.
Go, yeah, go ahead and use it. No problem. And another thing too is, if you think about the word public relations, it's relating to the public. So it's in, the word itself. So it's finding ways to connect and relate to your audience and really get your message out there.
So, how are you getting clients? Are you marketing them, or is it word of mouth, or a little bit of both, marketing to them or word of mouth?
Yeah, so as far as getting clients, referrals are a huge part. Clients love working with me and they love telling their friends and people and colleagues and people who they know. But also, networking has been a huge part of my business and its growth and expansion. So, going to different networking events and making sure that I show up confidently, boldly, making sure that, I'm rocking, some fashion, and really making sure that I stand out and I'm making myself known. So if I'm at an event and there's a mic, I'm going to get up to that mic and I'm going to introduce myself and I'm going to people know what I do and who I am. That's been a huge, huge part of growth in my business. Being a part of different networks as well, and a lot of different Facebook groups as well, where there may be like experts or there may be speakers and authors. Like, that's a huge way that I've grown my company as well. And then I've just recently started being more proactive and especially with social media, especially on my personal pages. It used to be where I wouldn't even post about my business on my personal page, but now it's it's really a place where people can get to connect with me and get to know me as a person, and that develops that like, know, and trust factor, and making sure I have call to actions on all my social media posts and inviting people to have a call with me. So those are some different ways that I drum up business.
I saw your social media and I was impressed. I said, I like this.
Thank
You know how you're
you.
just drawn to certain people's social media, and
Hmm.
I love what you're doing.
Thank
How are you
you.
coming up with the ideas that you're doing on social media? And how do you stay consistent? Because we get busy, as you know,
Absolutely.
and social media becomes a job, especially when you are, even if you don't have a second page,
Hmm.
just staying active on your personal page to continue to, as you mentioned, your personal brand, to
Hmm.
continue to make that a recognizable piece of your overall work that you do and your expertise. How do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as how I come up with ideas, so a huge part, especially on my business page, I look through reels and I find different trending audio. So, I'll see a trending audio and I'll say, okay, how can I relate this, to PR? So that's one of the things that I do that has worked very well. And then what I'll do is like, I'll take that and I'll figure out, okay, how can I translate this to my personal page and make it more personable? So I know on my personal page, a lot of my content is inspirational, encouraging. And so I'll find a way to tie it into something maybe that I'm going through. Like right now, I've been going through a lot of perfectionism. So feeling like, I have to be perfect, I have to do all these things. And then I'm like, what would I say to myself? So that's going to be my caption. What would I say to myself and how I'm feeling right now? And then I relate that back to something in my business. As far as staying consistent, I give myself grace because there are times where I'm just going through mentally, I'm going through emotionally, and I don't feel like posting. And then another thing that I do too is in my notes in my phone, I have where I have a note where I have just posts, right? So it'll be something that may just come to me. I'll jot it down. So I have like this log of like things I can post whenever I'm ready. So I'll just go back to that note and I'll grab whatever I was feeling that day and I'll make that into a post. So those are some different ways that I do my best to stay consistent and also have fresh ideas, and really tying that storytelling piece is very important with your captions and your content.
I'm writing both of those down. I just grabbed a pen because I'm like, I gotta write that down. It's funny how things resonate with you
Mm,
when you least expect it, but the perfectionism piece, because we all go through that,
yes,
but also giving yourself grace. Gotta give yourself grace. Thank you for the reminder.
absolutely. And that's something, honestly, that's hard for me because I am one of those people who just constantly feel like I have to perform. I have to do this, I have to do that. But, sometimes that actually makes us stagnant and freezes us to where we do nothing. And I have those
Hmm.
moments, and then I have to remind myself, okay, Lanetra, instead of thinking about all the things you have to do, what's one thing you can do right now? What's the first step you can take? And that kind of gives me the freedom to continue moving forward instead of staying stuck.
Do you have a professional mentor? And if so, how did you choose them?
Absolutely. I do have a business coach. She is absolutely amazing. I actually saw an ad for her and on Instagrams, and I attended one of her virtual challenges. And honestly, I was initially not even attending it for myself. I was trying to find, I'm always learning, evolving, and growing. So I wanted to find other ways to bring value to my clients. So, and then just the confidence and the boldness that she embodied. And then I went to one of her events in person, and the atmosphere was so magnetic. And it's like you cannot deny um, just the energy. And so it was a
Mm,
no brainer for me to work with her. And, just the boldness and confidence that she walks in just rubs off on everyone that is around her. And I've been able to just grow my business, tremendously through having a business mentor. But you definitely want to make sure that you have, the right mentor for you for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. You don't often hear people talk about business coaches, but it is so necessary. We love our mentors and mentees and have great relationships with them generally. But sometimes it's nice. It's almost like saying it's the difference between friends and a therapist. Your
Mm,
mentors, they're there for you,
yeah, that's
and you can
good.
always chat with them about what's going on with you professionally. But sometimes it hits different when it is someone who is getting paid to
Mm,
help you with this. And that's kind of the difference between a mentor and a professional coach. Um,
yeah,
but both are key. Both are key to
absolutely.
your success. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
was just chatting with with a girlfriend of mine who is working with a professional coach, and she was raving about it, and it got me thinking, like, maybe I should go that route. And so that's why
Yeah.
this is top of mind for me. So
Yeah.
another reminder that another thing that you reminded me to
Yeah,
get
and
on
here's the
top
thing
of.
about that too, and having a business mentor is typically your business mentor has other mentees and you're a part of a community. And when you're a
Yeah.
part of that community, not only do you have your business coach, but everyone in that community is your coach too. And you're learning from them, and you grow so much more exponentially because you're in a community where you have different experts around you and you're growing together. It just really gives you speed in growing and learning. So
Hmm.
it's very important and has been super instrumental in my career for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. So, how do you consume news? One of the things about being a publicist working in the PR business, you have to be up on the news. So, like you said,
Mm,
you look at the trends, and that gives you ideas for your social media. But
right.
do you find that you are consuming news in a particular way that it leverages you as an expert for your clients?
Definitely through social media. That's like the number one way I consume news, but also through coaches and training. Um, I'm always doing some type of training, just learning things. Also, you have podcasts and books. But I would say my top two ways is definitely social media and courses for sure.
Mm. Mm. Courses, they can be such a huge help, and there's so many free ones.
Yes, there are so many free ones. One of the things I would say too is that could be a good thing and then it could be a not so good thing. Because sometimes people jump from course to course to course to course, but they take no action and they're
Mm.
listening to this one, that one, this one, that one. So you have to be very careful with what you consume as well, and that you're not like just hopping from person to person to person to person, if that makes sense. And you're
No,
consuming
that
all
makes
this
great sense.
information and it's just sitting in notepads and you're doing nothing with it. So you do want to be careful that not only are you learning from these different courses, but you're also taking action.
No, that's a good point. Really good point. Well, as we wrap up, what's the best tip or advice that you've been given?
The best tip or advice that I've been given, that's a great question. I would definitely say I've been given so much great advice. Mm,
And feel free to share more than one. I
okay.
will
Okay.
not be mad.
Okay, that makes me feel a bit better if I could share more than one. Um,
Absolutely. I welcome it.
okay, awesome. Well, one of the things and it's something that's been heavy on my mind lately as well, is that there's never a perfect time to do anything. So, you can wait for the perfect time to, write your book or to make that social media post or to do that webinar. There is never a perfect time. So you just want to start. And like I was saying before, whether it's just taking that one step, if that one step is writing the idea down, if step
Hmm.
two is actually outlining everything out, like just make sure that you actually start and you don't wait for that perfect time, because there's not going to be a perfect time. So that's something that really allows me to get outside of my own head because I can
Mm-hmm.
be in my own head a lot, and everything is just stuck there versus turning it into action and actually taking, that one step. That's one of the things that I would definitely say. And the other thing also is that to give yourself grace, things are not always going to go right, but it's very important that you give yourself great grace and that you learn from whatever it is that happens, and you say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do next time, and just continue moving forward. So I would definitely say in general, just don't get stuck in your own way, and just continue to put one foot in front of the other.
Oh, thank you. So
Yes,
we are
you're
going to end with what we call the lightning round.
welcome.
It's
Okay.
a series of questions, either or questions, and I want to know how you answer, what you prefer.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, lightning round. Coffee or tea?
T.
Mac or PC?
Mac all day. Mac all day.
Early bird or night owl?
Mm, it depends on what you call early. These days I will say early bird.
Okay.
Yeah, these
Is this early before 10 or early before 5?
before 10. Before 10. Yeah, not before 5. I'm not there yet. Maybe when I have kids or something like that, but before 10.
Spring or fall?
Fall.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Black suit or blue suit?
Black suit.
Instagram or Facebook?
Mm, I want to say Instagram. Instagram. I had to
Mo-
think about
most
that one.
of most of the people that we've interviewed, they are quick to say Instagram. So you're the first
I
person I think that
paused.
I've.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I paused because Facebook does show me a lot of love, and a lot of my family and friends are on Facebook, and I do get great support, on Facebook. So I'm like, I love them both, both for different reasons.
Mhm. But you find that Instagram is better for business purposes or?
Honestly, both are for me.
Oh,
Both are
that's
for
great.
me. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Instagram is really great because you have the bio link there, you can put all your call to actions there. So, they both have their own um pros, but Instagram for me, it's more entertaining for me. I can go on the
Mhm.
stories. I know I can go on stories in Facebook, but I feel like for my own personal like enjoyment, Instagram.
Okay. No, thank you for that. I use both as well.
Yeah.
I lean a little more toward Instagram,
Hmm.
but I am always curious as to what people prefer.
Yeah.
And as we are newly launching this podcast, I am paying a lot more attention to that
Hmm.
and which platforms work best.
Right.
Twitter or TikTok, or neither.
TikTok. I'll say TikTok.
Samantha Jones or Olivia Pope.
Olivia Pope.
Washington Post or New York Times.
New York Times.
Introvert or extrovert.
Extrovert.
Heels, flats, or tennis
Mhm.
shoes.
Oh, I always love me a nice pair of flats. I'm not gonna lie. I love heels, but only if they didn't hurt so much. I don't see how
Mhm.
some people just walk in heels 24/7. I'm just like, how?
I'm
Um,
envious of those girls. I love it. And I,
seriously.
I look at it and I'm like, why not me?
Right, exactly. So, when I have my heels on, trust and believe I have some flats really close to switch out of. So, I would say flats. I
Hmm.
love me a cute
All
flat
right.
because it's cute and comfortable at the same time.
Mhm. You can always dress it up or dress it down too.
Right. Mhm.
Well, Lanetra, thank you so much for joining me. I have truly enjoyed chatting with you. And one of the things that we want to do is be able to tell our viewers, our listeners, where they can connect with you. So tell them what's your Instagram, what's your
Absolutely.
Facebook, and all the ways that they can, your website, all the ways that they can find you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure to be here with you tonight. And to connect with me, you can connect with me on Instagram at IAM underscore Lanetra, and that's Lanetra. And then on Facebook, it's Lanetra King. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Just search Lanetra King. And then my website is www.IndieKater.com. And I definitely would love to chat if you want to have a conversation or you're looking for PR services. Definitely check out my website or send me a DM.
Thank you, Lanetra.
Yes,
It's been
thank
a
you so
pleasure.
much for having me.